It's a beautiful Friday in Birmingham, Alabama, and I thought I'd come and spend it at the Birmingham Botanical Gardens and share it with you. And share with you what I've learned this week. This week has been a tremendous week for me to learn and to understand what's going to happen in my future and how I can invest to take advantage of it. And it really centers on two things. I've done several videos this week on a stock that is known as SoundHound. And what it is artificial intelligence being brought to the voice. That is to say, to gather all the knowledge that is available in the world and make it available to me in a conversational format. That is to say that I could read this book, The Genesis Machine, and I could engage in a conversation potentially with Amy Webb and Andrew Hassel about this book, and maybe I could invite several other people to join us, and we could have an interchange through artificial intelligence about this book. I could do it with any book. Maybe it would be an additional $5 a month to my Audible subscription. And then I got to thinking, I saw another video and with Jensen Huang at Stanford University, and I shared a little of it with you in an earlier video last week, and he shared with me that he is making a chip. And he showed me the chip, and the chip sells for $250,000, and it weighs 70 pounds, and it has 35,000 parts in it, and it will, in that one chip that weighs 70 pounds for $250,000, it will replace a data center.
As we say a chip, all of you in the audience probably, you imagine there's a chip kind of like, like this. The chip that John just described weighs 70 pounds. It consists of 35,000 parts. 8 of those parts came from TSMC. That one chip replaces a data center of old CPUs like this into one computer.
It would have the compute power to replace, say, 1 million CPU computer servers in a data center, and it would all be in this one, what he called a chip, and with 35,000 parts in it. And 8 of them, he said, would come from Taiwan Semiconductor. Well, my immediate question was, who are making the other, what would that be, 34,992 parts? Who's making those other parts? Because I got to believe these chips are going to be in very high demand, and he says he will update them on an annual basis so that they will do more compute power by a magnitude of 1 million, and no one else will want anybody else's chips. In fact, he was asked the question, what about competition? What about AMD? What about their chip? And he says even if they were free, they would be too expensive relative to my chip, because my chip will do so much more, and I will update those chips on an annual basis. Well, I got to thinking more and more about that, and my interest in SoundHound, and I've got some feedback from some people who said you need to go to the YouTube channel ANALZE, Analyze, and listen to what they say about SoundHound. And basically what they say is it's a bunch of hype. It'll never turn into anything. They're just a company that is burning money, and they're riding the hype wave of AI. And Kerry, you're going to lose everything that you've got. They laid off 40% of their people this last year. Well, that happened to coincide with their buying or merging. No, they bought SYNQ5, and they are a restaurant solution company, and basically what they're doing is bringing this SoundHound technology into drive-in windows, and they'll be able to replace the girl who sits there and takes your order, and you'll be able to interchange with them. You'll be able to tell them you want extra pickles on your hamburger, or you don't want any ketchup on your hamburger. So that is that. And then I got to thinking, what if I put what Jensen is telling me together with SoundHound, and what if I could put on a pair of glasses, and I could have one of, Jensen explained to me at his keynote speech, he was going to create a nano, and I understand a nano as a device maybe the size of a pack of cigarettes that had the compute power that was similar, but not nearly the size of the 70-pound chip that he had. But it contained all the knowledge on a subject, and it was not connected to the internet, other than you could update it on the internet. And let's assume that I was scheduled to go in and do open heart surgery later this afternoon. And I'm not a surgeon, but I could put on a pair of glasses and put that nano in my back pocket and connect the two. And as I opened the chest to see what was wrong with this guy's heart, the glasses would see what I see, and I could interact with the nano that's in my back pocket, the size of a pack of cigarettes, and I could perform the open heart surgery. Like the nano might say, move the kidney a little to the right to give me a little better view of the aortic artery. I don't know that, but you get my drift, that I could have in my pocket as a surgeon all the knowledge of the world and be able to interact with it. And when I moved the kidney to the left, the nano in my pocket would interact with me, and I'd ask it questions and it'd give me answers, and it'd ask me questions and I'd give it answers, and I could perform that surgery. Now, again, is this all hype? I've heard that before. I heard there's this company that thinks they're going to replace the department stores called Amazon. They've been in the business for 14 years and they haven't made a profit yet. It's a bunch of hype. It's stupid. And the price of the stock dropped from $97 to $9.75 in 2001. Is this just another hype, or is this the opportunity for me to invest in something that's going to change the world? And is it really going to change the world? Am I actually going to be able to read this book, The Genesis Machine, and talk to Amy Webb and maybe get 4 other people that are actually just bots that have read the book and understand all the nuances of the book? And so for an extra $5 a month, maybe I could have access to it. And then I could talk to my car as we're making our trip to Rapid City, North Dakota, and I could ask it to play my Taylor Swift music, and then give me Elon's book or Walter Isaacson's book on Elon. And by the way, cue in Walter so I can talk to him about and have him explain more about what he's talking about. Could education change entirely? Could we actually speak to the people who wrote the papers that we're studying? Could I go to Trading Views, and with my nano in my pocket that knows everything about market technology, could I look at a chart, let's say an NVIDIA chart, and say, based on this, what do you think? And it would come back and say, well, did you look at the MACD? And how about the relative strength index? Well, let's take a look at that. And then let's look back 3 years and take me to the financials, and let's look at the financials. And I would be having this conversation with the smartest people about the stock market, and it would be connected to my glasses, and that would be connected to a nano in my back pocket the size of a pack of cigarettes. Is that possible? Is that what we're on the verge of? Or is this all hype? Is this just all hype and it'll never happen? And even if it did happen, Google could take it away from SoundHound. Well, yeah, I guess maybe. But then why didn't Mark pay $4 million or $4 billion for Instagram? Why did Microsoft pay Sam Altman $10 billion for 40% of OpenAI? Why didn't they just do it themselves? That's what Google did, and it didn't work out quite that way. But again, maybe it's just hype, and maybe I'm all wrong. Maybe this is a pipe dream, and 5 years from now they'll say, remember when all those people bought into this OpenAI and this SoundHound and virtual reality, and do you remember when that was? That was just a big hype. Could that be? I don't think so. I think the big hype is that this is big hype. I think this is a reality of what the world is going to offer us in the future. And if we can collectively take a look at it and understand it and invest in it as a community, because we can move faster than Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs manages $2 trillion. They have 46,300 employees that researches the stock market, that analyzes the charts. What if I could compete with them and I could analyze the charts with my Nano in my back pocket that Jensen's going to make available to me, that has all the knowledge in the world about charting, has all the knowledge in the world about SoundHound and their finances, and I can access all that through my glasses and have a conversation and be educated and make educated decisions. Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I've learned this week. Later this afternoon, I'll go on my stock talk, and I'm going to have this same discussion with those who show up on a Zoom call. We call it a Friday stock talk, and we'll talk about this. And I'll ask them questions. They'll ask me questions. Hey, that kind of sounds like SoundHound, doesn't it? People communicating with each other, people of massive knowledge, sharing their opinions to make better decisions. Open heart surgery, investing in stocks, a lawyer, a student taking his PSAT, a student who is ambitious and wants to learn more than his professor can share with him, because his professor's only one guy. But AI is everything, and it's changing from ask and retrieve, and then ask again and retrieve. It's going to be ask and retrieve, now interact, now process, now interact. Now, I'm not only thinking, but the Nano in my pocket is thinking as well. And we're having a conversation that I can only get smarter. And my mind is my best asset. And it pays dividends through knowledge. And that's what I'm trying to share with you, my knowledge, my take on what's happening in the world. I think we can all go down our path and do it by ourselves, or we can unite. And I call that getting on the bus. I call that coming to a group that has a common interest to make more money in the stock market and take advantage of the best investment opportunity of my lifetime. And I'm almost 80 years old. I've seen the .com. I've seen the resurgence after the subprime crisis. I've seen what the digital economy can do. I used to work for Polaroid. They were put out of business by Facebook and Instagram, and that hype that Mark paid $4 billion for. No, I think if you don't get on this one, and as one of you said, well, it can materialize. So you can buy it today for $4. You can buy it maybe next week for $8. But where we really want it is when it gets to $400 a share. That's where the big payoff is. So if I buy it at 4 or I buy it at 8, what the hell's the difference? It could be substantial. And then there's the satisfaction of knowing, yeah, I saw SoundHound. I remember a video I saw with Kerry in the Botanical Gardens of Birmingham on May 3rd. Happy birthday to my older brother. He turns 82 this year. Yeah. So that's my take from Birmingham's Botanical Gardens on the investment opportunity of a lifetime. And I'm sorry, Joe from Analyze, A-N-A-L-Z-E, Analyze. You're all hype. You've missed it. You've got this one wrong. Now, you've got some others that you do a hell of a job on, but you don't look at the possibilities. You don't connect the dots. You merely take information, digest it, regurgitate it, and make a decision. You aren't connecting the dots. You aren't seeing the big picture. You don't see that Nano in my back pocket. You don't see those glasses on my face. So that Nano sees what I see, hears what I hear, and we converse as two intellectual beings to make better decisions. Whether it's to move the kidney to the right, to the left, to open the aorta and put it in a stent, or it's buy this stock, don't buy that stock. Wow. Okay, this was fun. I might do this again on a nice Friday day, sunny day in Birmingham, Alabama. Talk to you again tomorrow.